Hmm. Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. You know, if I had to sit there and describe this episode in one word, I would use the word puzzle. Okay? Because we'll start off with Liz and Laura. This is after Rick came over, gave us some smoothies or whatever, and kind of laughed. And, she talks about how she's having boundaries with Rick. And, Laura's like, oh, well, do you think that he's only coming over here and stalking the house every time Lucky leaves or whatever, right? But they get to a point where they talk about Lucky. And here's the thing. She's talking about how good it is to have him back and everything like that, and things are going well, and they're raising their son together. But she can't trust him because, they retcon Lucky now, and now he's like Luke, he's in town for a little bit until his next adventure. And part of me just kind of sits there and looks at it and just like, well, if you've been feeling like that since day one, why are you playing house with him? It's not like you couldn't have had Lucas or somebody else come over or whatever and help you out and stuff like that. But you're playing house with the guy who you don't even trust is going to stay. So, like, what are you doing? She's having this whole, well, what should I do? Like everything's going well. And it's like, you're also a little bit too old to be sitting there playing these what if games with this man. That's the bottom line. Like, if you still feel like he may run off and leave and stuff like that, stop doing that. Like, it's just stupid. And the only thing you're doing is setting yourself up for heartbreak, and that's not something that you need. So I don't even understand why she's even sitting there entertaining and just playing house with him. Um, in a sense, let's kind of talk about Gio and Emma and Lois and Brooke. One of the biggest pet peeves that I have for both of these scenes is that I felt like we've been having the same conversations for at least 2 or 3 days. At least 2 days with Lois and Brooklyn. And the bottom line is, Lois, one, you can apologize all you want. At the end of the day, this was going to come out. And you had to know that. And if you're going to have to lose your daughter for a little bit because of the choices that you made, that you want to sit there and claim that you stuck by him because you keep sitting there telling Brooklyn that you did the right thing. You did the right thing. You said him to go home. You did what was best at the time. You keep sitting there justifying that, but at the end of the day, she's looking at it like you went against her wishes. Okay? And you practically had Gio grow up with Brooklyn, and that's, what I'm saying? Like, that's a shell shock in itself. And that's not going to just go away overnight. So you going over there and be like, oh, how's Gio and stuff like that? You didn't need to go to Brooklyn and do that. You could have found other means to try to check on and see how Brooklyn's doing. What you wanted, what was Brooklyn said? Instant forgiveness. And that ain't happening. And it literally been one goddamn day. Like, that's not going to happen. And you saying the same things over and over and over again, it's not working. And, it is what it is with Brooklyn. I mean, it is what it is with Lois. Was it the right thing to do? No, it really wasn't. But you can't go back and change it. So constantly apologizing about it, that's not doing anything. That's just annoying. But Brooklyn is just going off and off and off and off on her until Gloria comes in. Now she's like, "Oh well, that's enough. You sitting there talking to your mother like that." I'm like, Gloria, do you understand exactly why Brooklyn's so upset with Lois, and why Lois keep getting up in Brooklyn's face, and why she keeps getting pissed off? So, you come in here with all this attitude and all this sass, but you might need to sit there and sit your ass down somewhere. I understand the idea of, you can't talk back to your elders or whatever, which I kind of disagree with on some level. Um, it's just I feel that respect is a two-way street, and what she did was damn sure disrespect. So you know, like Laura, maybe she'll sit there and stop talking to your daughter so nasty when your daughter gets the hell up out of Brooklyn's face and let her breathe for 5 minutes and let her calm down. And we get back to Geo and Emma. And I feel like we're having almost the exact same conversation that we did at that damn bridge. But now is see my issue that I'm having with Geo is that he's upset with everybody. Like, okay, I understand that you're upset with Lois. I understand you're upset with Brooklyn. Um, him being upset with Dante. Oh, okay, it's kind of dumb in a sense because like, yeah, he got upset with you. He definitely did overreact. But you're basically sitting there saying, well, that's my father. That's really how he feels about me. It's like, he felt like that about you before you knew he was your father. So I don't understand how those two are really like, I don't understand how those two are really mapping. I really don't. And now he's upset with Tracy. He's upset with, he's sitting there assuming that Sonny knew the whole time. I'm like, bro, you're just all over the goddamn place. And I'm like, you can't just stay there forever. And you can't, he realized he can't sit there and run away from his problems, so he's going to go back there. He's going to get answers. He's going to sit there and confront them. But, like, this whole, oh, wow, like, they're not my instant family and stuff like that. It's like, bro, I feel like you're kind of getting mad at the wrong people. Like, yeah, there's certain people you should be upset with, but not all of them. Like, not Tracy. I don't even like Tracy, but, like, you're doing a little bit too much now. Maybe you need to sit there and just kind of just chill out and I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like you just kind of doing a little bit too much. Um, Alexis gets Lucky and Christine together, and once they had everything that wound up happening from beginning to end, to sit there and see if she could try to find some sort of legal loopholes and how to get out this whole thing. And ultimately, she can't. She really can't. So, I mean, it was just a giant waste of time for the people that did actually watch it and knew the story so far. Now you get to the point where Lucky leaves. Christina's like, well, what should we keep? What should we do? One of the things Alexis is saying is we can try to turn Ava against Rick. And she's sitting there like, no, you need to do nothing. This is when Christina's like, maybe I should just sit there and turn myself in. Because paying Ava and Rick indefinitely is not going to work. Because eventually somebody's going to find out. And of course, towards the end, Laura's like, we got a problem with the trust. We got $10 million that's missing. What was he doing with it? What's going on? Like, math ain't mathing. What's up? I don't understand how she actually thought. Like, what was her plan? Because it didn't even seem like a damn plan. You're just gonna just hand a bunch of money to them, and it was gonna go unnoticed. Like, seriously? But yeah, she's like, maybe I should sit there and tell the truth. And Alexa's like, well, if you do that, you're gonna sit there and hurt your sister. If she doesn't do that, then y'all gonna go to jail. Okay? Y'all going to go to jail. Well, your ass is definitely gonna go to jail. And she may be doing something stupid enough where she sends herself to jail. So, like, I'm like, maybe, just an idea, maybe if you just would have, I don't know, let Christina suffer the consequences of her actions this time instead of trying to cover it up, maybe that would have been a better way to go about it. Now, Nina is talking to Ava, and I do not understand how she feels that bringing Michael's infidelity in his child with Sasha into the courtroom is going to somehow sway the judge into thinking that Willow should have custody. Like, let's put it this way: the infidelity on the other side really shouldn't matter. So I don't understand how she's not there banking on this, but just not there saying, "Well, if I do that, then I'm going to betray Sasha, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt her, and everything like that." But then she gets to a point where this is Nina, right? Nina's like, if Willow wins full custody, she's going to take the kids with Drew, and she's going to go to DC, and I can't let that happen. So she's like, should I just, I don't know, somehow sabotage Willow's chances and have Michael get full custody? Because at the very least, she'll have to stay in Port Charles. So, Nina, essentially what you're Smith is saying is that you're putting your own happiness above your daughter, right? Oh, she's going to leave me and the kids. Well, you're rich. You can go back and forth to DC anytime that you want. But you want what you want. And you're willing to sit there and have your own daughter lose her kids because, it's going to affect you. That's how that's how sick her thinking is. Now, one of the things with Michael and Sasha, there's a point where Sasha's baby's kicking, or their baby's kicking, let's be honest. She asked Michael to feel the baby kick. And part of me just kind of looks at that, and I can't help but sit there and think, while they're both smiling and stuff like that, I was like, that's kind of cruel, though, right? You don't want him to be a part of the child's life, but you'll sit there and share a moment like that because you're going to be missing out on so many other moments. I don't understand how she didn't put two and two together and be like, oh wait, that's kind of bad. Now, Sasha does kind of kick herself into saying, if I didn't say anything, y'all could have worked out. Michael's like, nope, we had way too many problems. That was just not going to happen. And one of the things he sat there and said is something that I think DC kind of said. Never put somebody on a pedestal. Okay. He was so focused on making her happy, he didn't sit there and see what kind of person she was. Right? And so, he's like, he ain't trying to get back together with her, but he wants to make sure that the kids are good and everything like that. Meanwhile, Carly goes over to Curtis to sit there and ask for a favor, and ultimately, Curtis explains why he can't sit there and smear Drew in the press without having it backfire on Michael, since he does own the company as well. So, yeah, that whole scene was just a giant waste of time. But he's still upset with Portia. But one thing he does sit there and say is, we got to sit there and find Jacinta. I don't know how that's going to sit there and help Michael or neutralize Drew, but yeah. They also mentioned Brad real quick, but he's not on the show anymore right now, so I don't. Yeah. Well, I feel like that's about it for the most part. I feel like I'm kind of forgetting something, but I think that's the major gist of the episode. Now, of course, if I missed anything, write in the comment section below. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows. You know what they are. Usual, well, okay, for new people. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and yeah, I'll be sitting there talking about all 5 of the shows, including this one.